If you have an account code in Xero that's an asset in a chart of accounts, Hindsight will check those account codes to identify if the balance is a debit or credit. If it's a credit, Hindsight will flag this as an alert for you to check. As shown in this example here, we've got an asset code, and under computer equipment we've actually got a negative balance of £10,000, which wouldn't appear to be correct. It's good practice to have a look at these because it could indicate mispostings. We'd expect this asset code to be a debit balance, and it's not. So the likelihood is we've misposted something into this account code. If I click on the trial balance report here, the Xero hot link will take me across to the trial balance, and I can have a look into this account code and try and understand what's gone wrong, and if it is a misposting, take the corrective action. Once I've corrected this transaction, I can come back into Hindsight. I can hit the complete button to tell the system that I've dealt with that check. For the purposes of clarity, Hindsight carries out the checks using the account code that's been allocated with the class of asset. We ignore bank accounts because they could be legitimately negative if it's an overdrawn bank account. Hindsight will also ignore any account codes that are mapped with accumulated depreciation and amortisation. These are treated as an asset by Xero, but we would expect these account codes to be in credit, so we ignore them for this purpose. However, we do this using the Xero report code mappings. For this check, it's really important to make sure the report code mappings are up to date. To avoid you manually having to exclude account codes, it also means that going forward, should you add new depreciation or amortisation account codes, if they are mapped to the depreciation and amortisation, we will be able to exclude those for you, avoiding you having to do this as a manual process going forward. If the client looks after their own books and records, you've got the ability to copy this data, export it to Excel, or create a PDF document. You could send this across to them to have a look at their own asset balances if you're concerned. One of the other things that you can do is, if you do find an asset balance that has a credit amount and you're happy that that's what it should be, so i.e. that account should now be a liability, you can of course change the mapping in the chart of accounts and allocate it as a liability, and we won't pick it up going forwards. If you find that you're happy that an account code could be a debit or a negative amount and you don't want to keep flagging it up, you do also have the option to exclude account codes from these checks should you choose.